Have we loads to discuss tonight? Oh my God. Unbelievable. We have a moderator to say that I am disappointed, to say that I am underwhelmed, but then again, not really. We have a moderator. We'll talk about that. Also, the Jadrools, these Candace plays them. Viva Fry has lost his mind. The compressed pictures, and I mean, this is nuts. Absolutely, positively crazy. Candace is playing them like you can't believe. Do you hear what I'm saying? Playing them like a fiddle, like a, I don't know what the word is. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's Friday is the debate. And I know what's going to happen. First, we'll talk about this. We'll talk about what's going to happen, why I'm happy, what you should be watching for, and why Candace Owens might very well be the smartest woman, and Idu, the Jadrool of Jadrools, the King Jadrool. That's right. Pickles Wilson is the biggest stupex, dumbass. There's so much to be saying. Plus, I've got other pictures for you and things that you cannot believe. But first, my friends, before we begin, let me ask you, first of all, welcome you here. Please like this video. Liking it is critical. Liking means more than you will ever know because it puts us in the HOV lane of success or whatever the hell that means. Please like the video. Make sure that you are subscribed and hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. But before we begin, this critical word from our critical sponsor. Well, midterm elections are coming. Control of Congress is on the line. And if there's one thing financial markets hate, it's uncertainty. Between now and election day, we could see serious volatility in the markets and the economy, and you owe it to yourself and your family to have a plan. And that's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. Listen to me. For more than a decade, Noble Gold Investments has helped Americans like you diversify with physical gold and silver. They make the process absolutely simple, straightforward, and secure. And for America's 250th, Noble Gold is celebrating by sending you a free 10-ounce U.S. independent silver bar when you open a new qualified account. Just mention Lionel. That's Lionel. Call 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. Or visit the special Noble Gold Investments Lionel link below. Election day is coming. Don't let it arrive without a plan. And remember, there's always a risk of investment and there's no guarantee of any kind. My friends, I still in my mind cannot believe that this debate is actually coming, because what is about to happen means that this fellow is throwing away every single gram of self-respect. How many of you still think, nah? Gematria says, we didn't got him. Don't know what that means. Gematria says, to recap, Lionel said this debate was not going to happen. I cannot believe it would. Is there anyone here, by the way, and thank you for keeping note of that. I appreciate that. Is there anyone here who still thinks, no way, no way? And also, Patrick Bet David, who is a Boeotian. If ever there was a blatteroon, a poltroon, it is Patrick Bet David. So full of himself, fancies himself as one of the best con men ever. Absolutely ever. So full of himself, Candace is going to play him like you can't believe. And he's going to ask himself, what do I do? You know that our dear friend, what's his name, Izzy or Pickles, because there's the big deal. Look at it. Ooh, look at him in the middle. Come mierda. And I don't know who did this, but why is Charlie and what's her name in the background? I don't know if this is hers or somebody put him up to us, but this is fully done. Candace Owens V, I guess she's on the phone, and this guy on the right looks scared, doesn't he? And Patrick's in the middle, standing there wondering, what am I doing? Is the reality of my ineptitude going to show? Because I don't really know anything. I don't really know anything. You know, bless his heart, he's a foreigner, and sometimes his English is not exactly as well as rapier, dare I say, as it should be. I'm just saying. Don't mean any harm by that. Pickles doesn't know what he's talking about, and Candace is going to play it perfectly. How do you think this is going to go? It's going to be a disaster. He will never acknowledge it. Pickles is never. His wife's not doing. And by the way, his wife, I'd rather listen to her. I'll be honest with you. And I may have heard all but of 30 seconds of her. I don't even know who the hell she is. See, I'm not proud of this. I'm not one of these people who says, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I don't think it's a good thing to tell people you don't know who people are. But I'm telling you, I don't know who these people are. I never heard of this guy before. I don't follow every single person. I have a low threshold of interest. And the very fact that I'm even talking about this right now is so incredible because I just don't find these people interesting. There's really nothing there. There's not really... I do, because my take is completely different. Do you believe that Friday will go through, yes or no? Will all of a sudden Pickles Wilson come up with a case of dyspepsia, a coma? Will it happen? Will it not? Will something go wrong? Will he claim there's been a breach, yes or no? Will it happen Friday, yes or no? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Will it happen? 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. What is it? Will it occur? Will it happen? Right off the bat. What do you think? Is there a God? Could this happen? Look at this. We got a 3. There's always somebody. This is what we call, I'm sorry to say this. This is called a come mierda. There's always somebody who says, I'm going to put 3. See, he said put 1 or 2, for yes or no. I'm going to put 3. Why? I'm a dick. Okay. So just say. Do you say yes? He can't go through. The only reason he's going through. Come on. The reason why he's going through this. You know why? Seriously. Do you realize this? Let's look at this. The wife will not let him go. He's going to say, oh my God, he's going to be worrying about this because you don't understand something. I know he's an idiot. I know he's vapid, vacuous, void, vacant. He is insipid. He is devoid of any kind of mentation. I understand that. But the money, the wife says, this is money. Now, is he going, no. This may be, this is, let me just ask you something. Who is offering whom? This is stupid now. I'm not sure, but he said, I'm going to offer you this. I'm going to offer you 50,000, whatever. So she said, you know what? Make it $500,000. So let me ask you something. Work me out with this. Is Pickles handing Candace $500,000? Is that how this works? He offered it, right? He said, I'm gonna challenge you. Is Pickles going to pay Candace $500,000? How does this even work? I know it's probably the most important critical question to ask, but is he going to do it? He's going to say, here, Candace, here's $500,000. so I can pay you. He isn't paying anything. Who's offering who what? And we say he isn't paying $300 Pickles to Candace, right? That was the original thing. And then Candace said, no, let's make it $500,000. Remember that? So now it's $500,000. It went from a half. So you got to fill me in on this. I love this. This is like the world's worst news service. So it's 300. So the $500,000 is no big deal, right? I know probably you understand. They're going to pay him. So he is paying. Hang on. Insert that says PBD is definitely getting paid. he doesn't show up for nothing. I don't know. I'm not talking about PBD. I'm not talking about him. First of all, I don't believe that for a moment, because he would be a fool not to be a part of one of the biggest. No, he's getting paid. You're getting paid by doing this in terms of promotion, in terms of just getting your name out and all this stuff. A lot of people are going to just hear him for the first time. Not everybody knows who he is. So if he thinks he's going to get paid, he's an idiot. But here is the question. Here is the question. Who is going to get paid? Candace gets paid, or what's his name gets paid? It went back to 300 and he can't smoke. I understand that, and has to come to her. So she conceded to everything else. Not concede, she conceded, CONCED. Conceded means, so she accepted $300,000. Now, you know that I believe that somebody said something. This is very interesting. Candace made an observation. She says, I think her husband George said there are $1 a day people. For somebody who gets rich all of a sudden, or who has this money, whatever it is, normally it burns a hole in their pocket. They can't wait to show you and spread it around and that sort of thing. Plus, it's not his. Somebody somewhere must have. I hope. See, I'm assuming somebody said to him, "Listen, you go ahead and you say this, and we'll pay this." It'd be funny if they decided now you're on the hook. Anyway, so she's going to hand him Victor Marks chipping in. So that's terrific. Victor's going to be. I can't tell if you're being funny or not. I have no idea. Why would he be chipping in? He's running for governor. Why would he want to do that? I'm just saying that. So anyway, so Candace walks away with basically has his balls in a Ziploc bag, right? And has $300K she pulls up and he hands it to her. And I'm sure there's some kind of an agreement or whatever it was. And if PBD, he's not going to be, okay. Let's talk about Patrick and let's talk about the whole thing. First, let's size him up. Patrick Bet-David is full of shit. He wants so much to be this rich, brilliant, I've been in the military, Iranian story, Horatio Alger, made good, genius with money, came to this country. Everybody knows him. I'm so popular. Have you seen his crew? He has to have people on his staff to help him, especially that one moron who was just, his view of the Middle East is a bit strange. Insert says, who will get the AdSense? Oh, that would be Candace. That would be hers, because remember, it's going to be, and I'm assuming it's going to be in her channel, right? Gemma says, another stipulation, pre-opened pickle jar. You are funny. You are funny. Steph says, Candace is going to mop the floor with Andrew. He has no idea what he's in for. Oh, I agree with you. I'll explain that in a moment. Absolutely. Absolutely. But remember, his wife is telling him he's got to get a deal. I don't know what he's going to walk in, pay her $300,000 to have his dick handed to him. Pardon my French. Excuse me. I don't mean to talk like that, but or ass handed. He is going to be here. And by the way, that'd be $300,000. Why? Do I have this right? He's going to walk in, pay her. And this PBD, the genius, the millionaire, whatever it is, he is going to be watching this and he's going to be setting this, oh, wait, stop, you stop. And everyone, okay. I don't even know what you're even going to moderate or whatever this is. Anyway, doesn't matter. Candace couldn't care less because she's going to kill him. She's going to kill him. But the thing is, I just want to make sure. Look at Tanya. Look at this. Lionel, you were the highlight of my day. You keep me laughing. Thank you. It's the nicest thing in the world. That was wild. I hit the wrong button. I got so excited. Somebody said something nice, and there you go. In any event. So let me just make sure I get this thing right. Let me sure I understand this. He is going to pay her $300,000 or somebody. She's going to destroy him. Patrick Bet-David is going to be, I don't know what he's doing. Okay. Now, the wife, You know, the wife is really the ball buster in the family. The wife owns him. He tried that nonsense in public when he tried to say, shut up. She runs the show. She runs the show. She's smarter than him. She's better than he is. I don't know where this guy came from. I don't know who said, and you're going to try your hand at this. You're going to be a debater. Have you ever seen him really? See, debating is not knowing the facts. Debating is being a master rhetorician. It's knowing what the angles are. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, you know, the facts of the case, which is what this is going to be. It's being able to, you know, for the proposition, against the proposition, put your best foot forward. And you also want the audience to agree. Anyway, now, what's Candace going to do? First of all, understand something. You're gonna play these people. First, you're going to ask. You're going to do the following. Make a note of this. Number one, you're going to always be like, okay, sure. You know, I'm just, you know, to make Pickles look like an idiot, like a petulant child. Oh no, it's okay. You all right? Oh no, whatever you want. Sure. Like, oh, you're being so nice. She's going to go in for the kill, but she's going to concede stuff that doesn't even matter. She's going to make it sound like she's being nice because he's an idiot, like he's a complete buffoon. And of course he is. And she will do everything in her power to do this and to convey this idea. It's going to be perfect because remember, he is a person who was absolutely bereft of self-worth. Let me a little background. When you meet people sometimes who are braggarts, who are blackguards, who are all of this stuff, these are people who have a tremendous inferiority complex. Tremendous. And they're such that they hide it behind, they use kind of like this braggadocious behavior as a way of kind of, what am I trying to say? They use it to try to cover for this. Deep down inside, he is completely, he doesn't, when he the other day, or one time, lied about being in the army, being wasn't really stolen valor as much as he lied about something he didn't have to. This tells me everything. He is a guy who wants so much to be tough and to be brilliant and smart. If you ask somebody, what does it really mean to you? Let me ask you a question. If you said to Erica, what is the most important to you? Being smart, being talented, being a good Christian, being whatever. What is it? She would say, oh, being beautiful. And preferably being hot. Being hot. That would mean more to her. Am I right? Of course. More than anything else. Number one. And hot. And I said, well, what if you were popular and famous? Famous for what? Famous for being smart? No. Famous for being a good Christian? No. Famous for being a good mom? No. Famous for being a good wife? No. Famous for being hot? Yes. Beautiful? Yes. But hot, beautiful, love, where you are just, women just fawn over you. It's true. Look, what I'm saying is true. You may not like it. You know this is true. Everybody's got that. So what do you think? Let me ask you something. I'm going to throw some things out. What are some of the adjectives that Pickles wants? What do you think he wants to be known for? What does he want to be known for? Let me ask you a question. What did he want to be known for? What does it mean to him? What's critical? What does he want? And by answering that question, you're also saying, what does he want? Okay, respect, very good. Leslie, fine. Tough guy, yes. See, now we're getting this. Got this? Who else? Think about this. What does he want? He's a fake tough guy. That's it. But what does he want? Big deal Wilson. Okay. Wealth. Sure, yeah. To be right, sort of. But what is the thing he wants? He wants to be known for his intellect, but he also wants, he has not only his intellect, not that he's smart, but that he uses his intellect as a weapon, that he can dismember people. Now, I watched this show today, or whatever it was, and it was this guy Valhalla and these other people, and I don't know who they were, which does not surprise me. And all they were talking about, they got the beards and the hat and the tats and the whole bit military, is that Andrew doesn't have defined biceps, or that he looks like he doesn't work out. Now, this is very important. This is all they cared about. He's not a man. He doesn't have any balls. They mentioned whether he was menscheled or not. They did a lot of things. And I thought to myself, this is even worse. Who are these kids? These are like children. And all he cared about was who's tougher, who's more of the man. That's a very sad thing. That's it? You just want to go and you're not in the military anymore. Are you going to go fight somebody? No. Okay. Well, if there is a fight, let me know. I'll call you. But since we don't fight people during the day, what is your real talent? I don't know. Their whole thing was, we're men. We got to bring in men, and the men have to have tattoos and their hat backwards, and they've got to be in shape. What about the way say Pete Hegseth? It's like Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy is a little bit different, but it means so much to them. So remember, if you were debating them, that's where you want to go. In fact, what I would do is I would always, with these folks, explain how they're over the hill. They're not young anymore. They're not in the military anymore. They don't want them. Ah, yes, Icarus versus the sun. Indeed. Watch those wings just disintegrate. But thank you for that part. But if I was going up against these guys, well, you're not a young man anymore. Well, you got to get out of the way and let young people who are brighter and stronger, and it will drive them crazy because they want more. They were in their glory when they were in the military. They were in their glory. It was at the height of their testosterone period, or whatever you want to call it. Everybody's like that. When you see a guy walking around, he's 80 years old, he's got a hat that says veteran, you realize, wow, this was the most important thing. Not that there's any reason to be afraid of, but that's who they are. So that's that routine. Now, what is he about? First of all, is you got to understand something, that number one, he doesn't want to be shown up. And he's going to go in there absolutely terrified. And Candace is going to do a lot of smiling. Candace is never, ever going to ever say, you're wrong. I just showed you up. She's going to smile, smirk. She's going to know, where's the camera? This is her place, right? Is it going to be her place where there's no smoking? I mean, I guess, right? It's going to be at her house. This debate, is that going to be it? Is that it? I got to wait a second because there's a bit of a lie here. Andrew will never concede to a woman. He's not going to concede. He's going to have to. Absolutely. We're going to concede for him. He's not going to do it. So it's going to be Candace's place. So she's going to know, first of all, where are the mics? Where are the mics? And remember one thing, when you go in there, you got to make sure where the cameras are, how is it situated, how many cameras are there, and you want to see what they look like. You want to see a monitor. You've got to have somebody who is watching the monitors. You've got to watch this because if they're picking you everybody has a side. Everybody has something. I swear to you, there are people who it just doesn't work out. So you got to have somebody there who watches for you. Maybe his wife will do that. You also better realize or recognize who's going to be where. Do you like a particular side? Where's the camera? I don't know if he knows how to do this. Do you look at her? Do you look at the camera? You look at the monitor. If you got to know where things are, because when you start finding the camera, you look scared. And all you're trying to do is to find where's the red light. You don't know where it is. That's why you've got to do this ahead of time. You can't walk in there and just sit down and then say, that's what I think. because you don't know who it looks like you're scared. So you got to do all of this ahead of time. All of your prep work. What that means, just to say, what does it look like? Always have a mirror. Now, how are you going to dress? How is he going to dress? How? Are you going to dress like he normally does? Candace always looks very respectful. She's very, very nattily attired. She's very stylish. What is he going to do? If he wears a suit, he looks like an idiot because he never wears a suit. It looks like he's scared, like he's going to meet the principal or something. If he dresses too casually, he looks like a rube. So if you believe it or not, I know this sounds crazy. If you were to wear like a t-shirt with a jacket, he'd be fine. Wear at least something. Show a little bit of respect for it, because if you he's going to show up with a suit or something. He's going to look okay. So if he looks like somebody off the street, like a maintenance man, he looks like an idiot. If he dresses too much, he looks scared. So he's got to think about the colors of this. Dark. Go with that one too. Also, what's the lighting like? I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. And how much, what's the time limit? Do we know what the questions are? What are the questions? Who decides the questions? Now, I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to listen to what I'm saying to you. If you ever do this for a living, if you ever go on a TV show, if you ever go on a radio show, if you're on a podcast, whatever you do, you're going to say, ask me anything you want. Really, ask me anything you want. You're going to have a list of 5 things, 4 things, whatever it is, that you're going to say no matter what. And no matter what they say, you're going to answer this. And you're going to start off with, that reminds me. Funny you should say that. And then go on to your thing. They won't know the difference. They're not going to be paying attention. They're not going to say, excuse me, you didn't answer the question. You move on. Oh, yes, I did. And you say what you want. What is the thing? And here's what he won't do. But I'm telling you, it's easier to explain what he has to do. If I had to coach him, except for the debate, what are they going to talk about? But what's your position? What is your position? Next, he can't be he can't be a real jerk, but he can't be deferential. He's got to say whatever it was. No cursing. No cursing. None. 0. Don't do it. I know this sounds crazy. You're in her home, ladies present. You've got to show some respect. Kill them with kindness. Have somebody say, oh, okay. Then go in. You kill them with your words. You kill them with your logic. But you do everything to appear that you're being gentlemanly. You're honoring her. This is her home. And if you can, make sure when you meet her, if George is there, you meet him and look him in the eye and treat him with great respect. He's got to disarm, because they're expecting the biggest jerk anybody has ever seen. Remember what I'm saying? If he comes in and he's nice to Candace and he's respectful, it'll be a bit of a shock. Like, he's not that bad. Then, of course, he'll be himself. But he can't do this because he has no class, and it'll show through. But ideally speaking. Next, what does he want to do? What is his position? Let me ask you, what does he want to do? I'm not coaching the Jadrool. I'm telling you what exactly he has to do. Come on. This is what you should do. Listen to what I'm saying. Learn this. Listen to what I'm saying. She's going to kill him. I'll tell you what she should do in a moment, but let me tell you what he should do. And he can't do this. He can't. You know what it's like? If you ever tried to walk, if you've got my posture is shitty, I'm gonna stand up, and you're good for like a minute. Next thing you know, you're walking just like you did before. Whatever he does is going to slide. He's never been in a position like this. This is when he went from interviewing OF gals, even though this enemy Charlie, who's very, very good. This is in another league. I mean, he's going from Sandlot, Little League, backyard stuff to Yankee Stadium. So he's going to make this. So he's going to have to do everything in his power to both shock you. He can't do it, but this is what he has to do. Now, let me ask you something. What is his position? See, this is very good. See, Stephen gets it. See, Stephen says this. Stephen says he has to be respectful, but he has absolutely no chance of being there. Okay? You might be very surprised. Could be very surprised. You're right. And you might not be. You understand this? Now, of course, if they were to be so blatant as to have a person open up a jar, the pickle, see, that's too over the top, too. Now, what she can do is she can say something like, I don't want to open up a can of worms or a jar of pickles in your case. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Always pretend, Candace, that you're saying, I'm kidding. You also are going to talk to him, Candace, like he's crazy. Like he's crazy. Did you ever see Nurse Ratched? Remember One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Randall, yes. Or Mr. whatever it is, yes. Now we're going to, okay. Now, Andrew, do you like Andrew? Is that your name? Is that what your friends call you? What? Is that what your friends call you? Yeah. Well, okay, Andrew. Now, Andrew, remember, talk to him like he's retarded. Now, what's the point? I've asked you, and nobody can answer it. What is his yeah. Oh, right. Somebody says, Stephen says, you know what? Candace should say, I think Andrew, oh, sorry, excuse me, 7 months pregnant, it's tough. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. And he started, and he said, oh, sorry, little heads up there. It would kill. It would throw, you think I'm kidding? I've done this on TV before. I have done this on TV. I've done this. This is, there we go. I got to get a better, more humidity. So anyway, but she has to talk to him like he's crazy. But what is his point? What does he stand for? I don't really know. Gematria says, I predict circular reasoning and chanting. Perhaps. Maybe some kind of weird incantation, some rote, some mantra, whatever it is. Could be, could very well be. Don't know about that. But. Again, what does he stand? What is his position? What does he want to, this is a question. Well, Andrew, what exactly would you like to debate me about? You pick the subject. What is it that you find problematic? Can you help me with this? What is it, Andy? What is the thing, or Andrew, what is the thing that you want to talk to me about? What have I said, or what do you believe, or what that bothers you the most? Can you kind of fill me in on this one? Can you maybe fill me in on this one? Can you? What does he stand for? What's his position? Is he a Christian? Is it Israel? I think his wife, by the way, I think is far more intelligent than he is. She said something to the fact that they were not Zionists because their religion prohibits them from being Zionists or something along those lines, I guess. But what does he stand for? Are you there to debate the trial? Tyler? Charlie? Me? What in particular? Okay, would you like to talk about the trial? I mean, because no matter what it is, remember, go back to the trial. If you're going to talk about the trial and you say, what would you like to talk about? And if he says, well, I'm going to talk about the Republican Party, great. That reminds me, in the trial that's coming up, that reminded you? Nobody catches you. Nobody will ever stop you. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. But anyway, here's the thing. Now, right off the bat, if he says, now, Andrew, let me ask you, remember, like you don't want the temper tantrum, like you're talking to a guy on a ledge or somebody who's got a hostage. Now, Andrew, let me ask you this question. Take it easy. Take it easy. And already you're making him sound like you think he's crazy because you've seen him before. And it's the worst insult by you being so deferential. You're saying to the rest of the world, he's an idiot. So, Andrew, let me ask you a question. Is it your position that Tyler Robinson acted alone and fired a weapon that Mauser set him up, fired the Mauser 98 from that low-C, whatever, that perch, and that shot killed Charlie, and moreover, he was acting alone? Start off that. You're just asking, yes or no. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Ace Babe, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Ace Babe. It's like Ace of Base. Remember that group? Eyes found the light. Anyway, sign. Anyway, do you believe that? Good. And how do you think they're going to prove that? And then sit back, because sometimes you got to know when to wait. Let them start. And remember, you're talking to a child, and when the child comes up to you and he's crying and he's throwing a tantrum, and you're saying, okay, honey, well, tell daddy what happened. What happened? Okay. And then when he decides to, now, what happens if he decides to act a little rough? What if Andrew says, no, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to really make a big deal out of this thing. I'm going to be a jerk. I'm going to show him who's boss. I might let her have it. I'm not going to have her. I'm not going to be nice to her. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm going to go and I'm going to show her his butts. Okay. How does Candace respond? She conveys two ideas. One is, well, there you go. And take it easy. Take it easy. No need for that. Patrick? That means, Patrick, do your job. And when something goes wrong, look at Patrick. So Patrick said, what? Because Candace is saying, I don't know what job you're supposed to do, but, or, if she can please remember this, Candace has to say, let's assume that Patrick says, oh, I'm sorry, Andrew, you can't say this. Have Candace say, oh, no, listen, no, I insist, please. No, it's okay, Patrick, it's okay. Please answer the question. I insist. Meaning, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. Another thing, remember, when you want to say somebody's crazy, don't say they're crazy. Think Nurse Ratched. I do this all the time. I cannot tell you how many people in just in media who will tell me things that make no sense. And I will always say, interesting. That's a very unique take. Very unique. Also, if you can work in one of my patented favorites of all time, if you can somehow figure out how to say this, remember I'm telling you this. You say something, and then you say, and you can understand that, right? You see, Andrew, you know that there is a difference between who might have been responsible for this other than Charlie. There are some people who believe, myself included, that Charlie did not do this, and that shouldn't be a surprise to you. But a trial is not going to determine that. The trial is merely going to determine whether the state of Utah can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Charlie did this. And people sometimes confuse the two. You can understand that. It's difficult sometimes. It's a very difficult thing to know the trial versus a preliminary hearing versus, probable cause versus reasonable doubt versus whatever it is. And I hope that Barron will throw in some, because you got to ask him some really tough legal questions that he's not going to know the answer to. He's not going to know the answer. You've got to ask. If ever you're talking to a lawyer, If ever you're talking to a lawyer about this one, or anybody who knows what they're talking about, ask them, so why didn't the prosecutor go to a grand jury? Why didn't you just get an indictment and just obviate the necessity of a preliminary hearing? Why? He had probable cause, do it. Go to a grand jury, get a true bill, an indictment, and that's it. And they'll say, oh, now most people don't know that, because to them, you see, to civilians, it's the same. Preliminary hearing, trial, reasonable doubt, probable cause, proof evident, presumption great, clear and convincing. It's all the same. And for the most part, it is. So you have to have these things. Now, you're going to have to also know how you look at them. And what you do is, you're going to have to realize when they talk, you look like he's walking in there and he's nude, covered in blood. And you're a hostage negotiator. And you're looking at him like, are you okay? Now then, how does he piss her off? Ladies, let me ask you, what does she do to piss him off, to trigger that temper of his? What did we do? What did they do? Answer my question. What is it? What should she do? If it's going too nice, if he's behaving himself, and it's good, because in order for her to win, he's got to lose his mind. It's not going to be a question of, did you answer the question about probably, no. America wants to see a bloodbath. Remember, he wanted this. He wanted this. He wanted to do this. Bring out the pickles, by the way. I know that's cute, but that's so overplayed. It's like, that's played too much, and it's already cliched, And he's gonna go like this, and he's gonna hand it to her, and then what are you gonna do? Then what are you gonna do? Now, bring up his wife. Who said that? Somebody said bring up his wife. Now, how do you bring up his wife? Candace can't do that. See, this is the word says it. Candace can't do this because Candace would have to lower herself to do that. Can't bring up his wife. What are you gonna do? How many baby daddies does she have? Crack open a can of jar of pickles and offer him one. See, that's what I'm saying. It's too. No, I mean that's cute, but you do realize. I know you keep bringing this up. You can't do that. Please, Candace, if you're listening, if any of your genius, and you have some very smart people, don't do this. This is so played. It's so often. Now she might do something like, are you well? Thank you very much. By the way, thank you, Andrew. Can I offer you something? Would you care for a gherkin? And then that might be it. Just a brief, but don't hand him a jar. And no. You might want to have some fun and then act like it was just a joke. I'm laughing with you, when in fact he hates this. For the rest of his life, no matter what this man does, he'll be known as the guy who couldn't open up the jar of pickles. This is it. You do realize this, because this is how petty the world is. Now, what do we do as far as Charlie? What are we going to do about, what is he? My question is, now, my first question, if I might, Patrick Bet David, yes. May I? Thank you very much. May I ask a question, if you don't mind? Sure. Andrew, what exactly is your point of this? And by the way, thank you. Thank you for the cashier's check. What is the point of this? What do you want to debate? So I understand this. And Patrick, you understand that too, right? What is it exactly? And then if you want to talk about the case, well, what about the case do you not understand? See, right off the bat, I say, she can offer him a nicotine chew. Is that supposed to be funny? You could. No, you don't want him to. You want him to get the shakes. You don't want to do anything. I know you're being, but you don't want to do that. You want him to be nervous and scared. He's out of sort. This is not his home. He smokes. He probably needs a drink. I don't know. I have no idea. But the question is, what exactly do you want? What was your point? How can I help you? What can I explain to you? Right off the bat, it'll piss him off. Explain. Yeah, what do you not understand? You wanted to is it debate me? What would you like to debate? It's almost like, what are you doing here? What is it? So you want to debate me? Debate about what? What do you disagree with? And then whatever he says, you respond with, disagree with what? Well, with who shot Charlie. You want to talk about who shot Charlie? Yeah. You're confused about this. Okay. Well, that is a good question because really nobody knows, up to and including. And do you believe that Tyler did this? Really? Really? You know what? That's good. Maybe you can help me with this. How do you plan on proving that? And let him start to talk a little bit. In trial, there's two kinds of questioning. There's direct examination and cross-examination. Direct examination is when you're talking to your own witness, which can be very good. Cross-examination is when it's somebody else's. As great as cross-examination starts, sometimes it's not a good idea. It's okay in trials because to get the other person's witness off of the stand immediately, that's why you want to ask leading questions, but not in real life. Remember, he looks crazy. You're wondering, what is he doing? And make it feel like the biggest dumb shit there was. And also, you also want to say, now, Andrew, don't get upset. He's going to hate that. That's like saying, I know who you get. Don't get upset, but not only will they not be able to, and you got to say something that just shocks him, but he wasn't even there or. And if he brings up, okay, what if he brings up the microphone and they think that's crazy? And he says, that's crazy. If he brings it up, assume he's going to do this. Assume. What are you going to say? Think about everything in the world. Talk to everybody you know. Bring your entire staff in and say, what do you think my weakest position is? If there is such a thing, what would you like for me to talk about that you don't think I'm doing a good job, or I don't know what to do, or it's a part of the case that's the most difficult to explain. What? Now that's that. Did you see tonight, by the way, when she played the non-compressed? Oh God. I know you don't care about this. I don't really care about it either. What happened to Viva? Did you see the picture of them? Did you see this? Did you see this thing? I don't know what you want to call it, but this picture of them and there's the boys or whatever it was. What happened? How did a lawyer? I know I'm just shocked by this because even Barnes said, screw this. He backed off. He said, I'm not going to get involved. This ain't worth my while. But Viva says, no, I'm going to double down. I'm going to double down. Okay, Mr. Canadian prosecutor. Okay. And Candace said, look, I'm going to show you something. You see this guy? We not compressed it, but we kind of like brought it back. We added water and brought it back. It's like when you get porcini mushrooms or something, they're all desiccated. You put them in water and that's what happened. And you say, oh my God, who's that? Oh, that's Tyler. That's not Tyler. That's some other big guy. And Viva comes in with, that's AI. First of all, you're going to accuse Aunt Candace of that? Can you imagine actually accusing Candace of using AI? It's ridiculous. And she's laughing. And when she does that, it's over with. She's thinking, you think I use AI? I'm going to sit here and create something and fix something just for my show that nobody's ever going to see in any walk of life? Why? See, this is how desperate people are. And I don't know who's being paid off or not. I really, honest to God, don't know. And I don't know also how much of what our friend has to say that's actually true or not. I don't know about that. But my question is this: how did you get started in this? Andrew, how did you come upon this? I mean, people are talking about the trial, but how did you take upon? And by the way, do you disagree with my position or do you disagree with me? Because there's a lot of people out there who agree with me 100%, up to and including the defense lawyers, I guess, if they were here. But is it me? Yeah, really. What is so special about me? What do I represent in this entire deal? Now, remember something. Who is this guy? He wants respect more than anything else. He's going to walk away from this. And let me tell you about this thing that we're doing. Let me explain this, okay? Once you're hurt, remember when Crowder went through his problems? I don't really know the whole story about it, but something about his wife or something like that. It really hurt him. It just wasn't good. It wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good fit. I don't even know the story behind it, but it wasn't good. People don't forget these things. Viva, they're never going to forget. Timmy Pool, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know. Beck and these other people, they're just, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to me. There is a level here. There's this rule that we think of. Let me rephrase this. If you want to ask who's a good guitar player, ask a guitar player who's a good guitar player. Ask a really good guitar player who's a real good guitar player. When you ask people who's really good, who are the people that you really trust that aren't going to be compromised, that you might not agree with them, you might not like them, but you respect them. They're not sellouts. There are people, by the way, and you can disagree with me all you want, but they believe something about, let's say, the Middle East. Or I've got friends of mine who you call them Zionists or whatever. They have never changed their opinion since day one. Good people, but they are sincere. And you may not like it, but they're not on the take. They really believe this. Like a lot of Bernie Sanders people. You may not agree with Bernie Sanders, but there was a part of Bernie Sanders where you thought, you know what, he's pretty good. Bernie's all right. He's okay. He's got that. He's all right. Other people know. AOC, full of shit. You see where she left her boyfriend, her fiance, freezing the eggs and all that stuff? She's a liar. She's an absolute liar. Can I ask you something? You're going to think I'm out of my mind, okay? You're going to think I am completely and totally out of my mind. But I want to ask you something. You ready for this? You ready for this? Okay. You're going to think I lost my mind, but I got to show you this, okay? This is Anne Hathaway. Do you think, because everybody now today, women, by the way, a pregnant woman's the most beautiful thing in the world. You can see the linea nigra, almost, where you get that nice, not that nice, but you get this kind of a darkened line, not the linea alba, it's in the middle of that bisects the abdominals, but this is dark, kind of a line, goes from the umbilicus straight, And there's no reason why women should ever be ashamed at all of being pregnant or anything of that matter. But I want you to look at this. Ladies, do you think there's any chance that that's fake? Do you think there's any chance that this thing she has on her is fake? Look at this. Look at this. What happened? Look at this. Look at this. Cammie Roundtree said, "Is it real? Do you remember this?" Now listen to what I'm saying. Ladies, men, forget it. Do you think this is fake? Look at it. Some people say it's real. Do you believe there exists the chance that somebody could actually be walking around with a fake plastic prosthetic abdomen? I'm not saying the belly. I'm not saying the umbilicus or the umbilicus of this. No. That's true. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about later on. There's a look. There's something very, very strange. You may not remember this. Do you remember when people believed that Beyonce was saying they don't really think she was pregnant? Some people didn't, because when she sat down, what appeared to be her belly looked deflated. Remember this? Remember this? I thought to myself, this is the world we live in today, where we can even ask that. When we were kids, we would say, nobody in their right mind is nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to have a fake. Oh, yes, they are. Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Really? Yeah. It's the strangest thing in the world, isn't it? Yes. By the way, I'm going to show you something also which has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But I hope you see this. This is a great program, and I love it's 100%. This is called A Little Free Library. I got to say this. A Little Free Library. We see these all over New Jersey. This is in front of a school. This is in the neighborhood. You can see these. They have little, you put free books and they take them and they bring them back or whatever it is. It's the greatest thing in the world. I wanted to show this. I know this has absolutely no place whatsoever in this. But I so believe in this. And they have these, some people have them in front of their house. It's called A Little Free Library. You can go online. They'll show you how to make a little box. You can put it in your house, front of your house, and people can come. It's one of the best things around because I love and I want to emphasize libraries, or some people say libraries, for reasons that I don't know. Let me also show you something which will also, I want to remind you of something. I want to remind you what this is all about. I want to remind you of something. It is about this. And I want
mild pushback on some of the overreaches, whether it's, I'm
going to turn this sound down. This was a Megyn Kelly show. And they've been showing this all day today. And towards the end, just look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. He knew. He knew. What do you think he's thinking? This is heart and soul and flesh and blood and hair and teeth and family, and they took him. He'll never see 40. He'll never walk his kids down the aisle. This is just one of those things where I got to say to yourself, I got to ask myself, how does this even happen? Remember what this is. I can't say it enough. I know it sounds, I'm not trying to be corny. I can't say it enough. Demetria says, quick synopsis, ABC, against my 1, 2, 3. Staying on point will make him crack. People descend into logical fallacy instantly. Andrew is walking into a debate with the cognitive biases. When fallacy is exposed, people lose their mind. I would venture to say, I thank you. A bunch to say yes, except that he will lose his mind no matter what. Cami says, I agree, Lionel, libraries are very important. I want to throw that in because in the midst of all this horror and carnage, let's not forget the beauty of humanity, books and the like. Take down Candace Owens. Take down Owen, Owen apostrophe S. Take down Owens what? Who's Owen? You want to take... See, I don't even know. This is one of these ones where, oh, God, another one of these. Do you mean you want to take her down? Do you mean... What does that mean? What does that mean? Now, somebody says, look at this. Look at this. Kel Bella says, I think Andrew will back out. I don't think his wife would have left him, but would it surprise you? No. Would it surprise you? What he'll do is he'll claim there's been some violation. He will claim there's been some kind of violation, some violation, some breach of the agreement, something. He is going, remember something. After he's done, he can't come back. I mean, he'll be there. Remember, afterwards, people will follow him just to see what happens. They'll kind of laugh at him. The internet X will certainly cover him, and Saturday will be what happened, who won, and all that kind of thing. TPUSA will apparently they've lost all control of their donors, or vice versa. They're going to be wondering what they're even doing anything, why they're even remotely involved in this idiot, because he will have no, but the next day he'll be kind of up there and then he's done. Because he's been spent. He's lost his clout. Remember, you can be, I don't care who you are, Ann Coulter, or you can be even Joy Reid. As long as you don't appear to have violated or abandoned your cause, or that you didn't do something that was stupid, where you obviously were out of your league, he's going to be asking. And somebody's saying, why did you want to do her? First of all, why did you offer her money? Who offers money? Why do you offer money? It was a desperation. Candace would have done it for free. You say, Candace, anytime, any place, let's do it. I love the interview. Let's talk, or let's start. That would have been the best one. But he made it so big. You're gonna be playing that, dun, 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 like the Don Rickles theme, whatever that bullfighting theme is. You've created this image of confrontation that you cannot deliver at all. It's not going to happen. Candace is going to sit back, watch what she does in fact, we'll do it afterwards when she'll watch. See, I think a lot of this stuff she knows just offhand. But the first thing is she'll realize she's going to be able to read him. Remember, he likes to look down a lot. Look him in the eye. Another thing too, which is very, very disconcerting, is if somebody's saying something and you're looking at him, you do like this. It drives people nuts. Remember, you want to pull them, nod your head, or look away. Maybe look to, also challenge. Now, PBD, what does he want to do? Well, he's got to go back to his audience and he's got to make them say, you know what, Patrick, you were good. Thank you. I mean, you were tough. You didn't take any BS from me. Yep, that was me. So he's going to be doing this. And you got to show him respect because he's the moderator. He's not moderator. It's like a crossing guard. He's got, what are you going to do? But he looks at him and you say, okay. And have him look and say, what is it? What's going on here? What is it? Take it easy there. And you want, then he'll feel like he's being double teamed. Always Be True says Candace should ask how come he ended up helping out TPUSA after he insulted their CEO. Well, you know what he's going to do, right? He's going to be, if he asks, it's a very good point. And thank you, by the way. If he asks, well, how come all of a sudden you're helping with TPUSA when you call it? In fact, we've got it before. I've got it. I've got the, in fact, we've got it right here as a matter of fact. Whenever my thing goes by, here we go. This is a one. I'm showing you something. Did you ever write this, Andrew? Has something to do with Erica Kirk. She's a terrible leader and a femcon. He likes con, paleocon, Christcon, femcon, like the rest of TPUSA, and a moron. The principle here is what I'm speaking to. Did you say that? And your point is very well taken. So did you have a change of heart? I'm sorry. Oh, this is so sad. I can't watch that. That's so sad. He blinks. He breathes. I look at people and say, he's not here anymore. He's so alive. I know this is like, well, no kidding. But I mean it. Since I was a kid, I've looked at people and I said, I can't believe that I'm looking at somebody. There were all these actors. And by the way, with YouTube, I see friends of mine who have passed away who, I didn't know. By the way, here's another one too. Andy, can you speak to this, my friend, if you don't mind? Andy, you said this one. This is a good one. Andy, you said, feminists always claim, I think you meant feminists, you got the numbers, so to speak, wrong, but feminists always claim misogyny doesn't protect women. But here I am claiming Erica Kirk is too retarded to have participated in Charlie's assassination, proving the claim wrong entirely. Yes, this is a real position, he writes. Yes, this is my real position, backed with facts, and I will devastate Candace with them. This is what he said. Wouldn't you love to say, what did you mean by that? What did you mean by that specifically? What pray tell did you mean? Sparky says, always interesting. Sparky says, I don't normally notice visual details unless they're pointed out, but when I first saw a picture of Candace in Russia, like many others, I immediately thought she's pregnant. Nothing gets by you, my friend. Nothing gets by you. You happen to be correct, sir. You are correct. I don't remember that many pictures, but could very well be. Well, it turns out it was correct. You know, she's a very smart person. You know who I would love to, would be more interesting? A person who would be very, very, very difficult, who's very smart, is Nick Fuentes. You want to stay away from that guy because he's so, when I say he's slippery, he doesn't really, he just kind of, he knows exactly how to slither by. He's very good. Tucker's very good. Buckley, Tucker's brother, is excellent. A lot of people are very, very good. Very, very good. But you see, here's the thing. I don't want to, how do I say this? My position is that the facts, the argument means nothing. It's the presentation. I want to feel like he loses it. If he loses it, if he says things, and depending upon who you are, remember one thing, this is a woman telling this. See, if I told him something, he might think differently. But this is a woman. And if she understands that, if she says something to the effect of, you can't be serious. Oh, what do you mean? No, seriously. Do you mean that? Yeah. You sure about that, right? You sure about that? You know that when the internet is not forgiving. Okay. One last time, you sure about that? It freaks people up. And to have him lose his mind. He cannot be made to feel. He cannot be made to feel inferior. If she also says something to the effect of, you wouldn't say that to your wife, or something like that. Meaning, like, remember there was a, you wouldn't say that in front of your mother, would you? You to wash your mouth out, or that kind of a reference. See, she's the one who controls him. Have you seen how mommy comes to his? I would be absolutely I swear to God, I would tell my wife, this has nothing to do with you. So I don't need your help. She wouldn't. But he's got, you got your little lady helping you out, huh? Is that it? Is that what you're doing? She's got your little lady. She wrote something. Candace, I was trying to find it today. Candace wrote referenced a tweet or a post on X that was almost like she was almost apologizing and saying something like, it looked very chat GPT-ish because it was the grammar was correct. And they're not known for their punctilious attention to grammar. But they she was saying something like, and he is so great, you don't know, he deals with Ivy League PhDs. And I thought, oh my God, she's almost like trying to convince herself. See, these are posers. These are people who don't believe this. They're imposters. And they made kind of a headway with this brash kind of a whatever it is. And when you meet him right away, you tell exactly who they are. He's never said anything where anybody would say, wow. You know, when you meet somebody and you say, that's a smart dude. He knows what he's talking about. You've never said that with him, ever. But when you hear Candace, it's the first thing you think. The thing about Candace is she's just in charge of this. She has a word is equanimity and equipoise. She's very smooth. She's almost like this. She's in a zen, or I don't know what you want to call it. She's in a state of, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to hurt you. They're going to find you as a grease stain on the floor when I get done with you. And I'm going to let you hurt yourself. Years ago, there was a thing called, I thought it was very interesting. They kind of poo-poo it. I know Joe Rogan does. It's called Krav Maga, contact combat. And it's an Israeli kind of martial arts. It's very similar to other stuff. And the idea that it was developed by farmers or people who were laborers, who they had taken away all their guns, and so they would use things like sticks and plows and whatever they had available. And it was very, very interesting. And I really don't have any interest in that. Martial arts, God bless them, is fun. But what are you going to do? Hit somebody? Okay. But it's a great exercise in any event. But this guy he was very interesting. And he said, it's very interesting. He says, he said, you sometimes want people's own energy to be used against them. He said, for example, he's never ceased to amaze him. If you're at a bar and they have somebody it's always a bar. If somebody's running towards you and they're about to attack you, he said the first instinct people do is to confront that person, to confront them head on. So you're standing in front of a speeding train. It's coming at you. But what he did was he said, if there's a way to do it, step out of the way and direct this person into the wall or something. The point is, use their momentum, use their speed, their anger, whatever it is that they come at you, use it against them. So whatever he does, use it against him. And I would love right off the bat, to look at him and say, well. Pickles Wilson. I'm just kidding. You're not kidding. Give him the old I'm just kidding when you say exactly what you meant. We finally meet. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. And by the way, I enjoyed your wife very much. Lovely woman. Lovely woman. I just said your wife, but I complimented her. So he's like saying, where are you going to, like already in 30 seconds, I just made it feel like, Always Be Drew says, whether he behaves or loses it, he has lost already. Well, to us, he has. Remember, he doesn't have a constituency. Did you ever see Charlie talk to these girls from whatever? The show's called Whatever. I don't know if they're OnlyFans people. I don't know. But this one particular group was. And Charlie was very, very, very understanding and very, very, just not at all offensive. Didn't call them sluts and sniz. I like to work like that. Ooh, I need a handkerchief. I need to sneeze. I don't know how you're going to do that. But he was very respectful, and they liked him, and it was so disarming. And he was basically trying to proselytize. He was trying to suggest the power of the Holy Spirit or Jesus or God or whatever it was. And these young women listened to him, and they said, you know what? This is very good because he's just that way. This guy can't do it. Look, bottom line is simply this. You know it, and I know it. He's going to lose this. What I want Candace to do is to go in for the kill and understand once she sees this in his eyes, she'll know exactly what to do. Once she sees it, pay deference to PBD, as they say, but ignore him. Be deferential, but ignore him. The only time you really need him is if you could say, like, can you do something about this? Like, I don't want to get, you know how he gets. And it's going to be wonderful. We're going to see something. And I'm going to tell you, I mean it. This is going to be something. This is where, in the world of professional wrestling, there was a guy called the Job Boy or a jobber. The Job Boy was the one who lost. The Job Boy was whenever Andre the Giant came into a city, he would, let's say he would wrestle 5 people, and the people who wrestled him were supposed to lose. But they're very, very, very good at losing. They're very good. And they were considered, in many respects, some of the best workers in wrestling, even though they lost. But they were performing. In wrestling, when you go beyond the script, it's called a shoot. This is when somebody's really pissed off. And the other person, normally the old timer, is going to teach him a lesson. A lesson he's not going to forget. But the audience doesn't kind of know this, but they sort of do maybe. But you realize this is important. This is going to be a shoot. This is not, there's no work to this Friday. It's going to be brutal. And Candace knows that she's got to go in and tear this guy apart. Not just for her, but for us. For us. She represents us. We can't be there. We will be there in spirit, but she does it for the team. She does it for the people who brought her to the dance. She knows this. See, this is different. She recognizes that many of you fine people love her. I don't mean to the point where you've lost sense of reality, but you love her. You really do. You admire her. You respect her. You think the world of her. You are so proud of her. You love how she speaks sometimes for you. She's so able to, while we're working, she's collating facts and working with great people like Barron and others. You love her. I mean, when I say we all do, love her. And she's like, I don't know if the word is. She's like kind of member of the family. You know what I mean? And there have been some other people too who've come close, but nothing really like this. I mean, Alex Jones, during his height, I think he's still, in many respects, big, but when he was really at his age, I don't know if people loved him or they just admired him, but people love her. You love her. And Candace has a thing, if you leave me alone, I will not bother you. And by the way, leave me alone means if you do something to my family or somebody that I love, I will come out and I will cut your parts of you're off. I will feed you to the fish. I will kill you. Figuratively. So my friends, that's where we are with this. Wasn't this delightful? Did we not have fun tonight? Yes, we did. Wasn't it fun? Oh, yes, it was. Don't you love this? Oh, yes, it is. Don't you love being here? Yes, you do. Don't you love talking to fellow people that you meet? People, when we start off, I see people saying hello. This is a little family. We're a little family. And I tell people this, and they think I'm kidding. This is a family. And the live has a different take, a different feel than anything else. It was so funny. I did one today. I did a live. I did a kind of a recorded one. It just didn't feel right. I wanted to show people how to argue the case. And I thought, because I like this. I feel differently. It's like doing stand-up to a crowd versus stand-up to an empty room, knowing that they're going to watch this later or something. There's an analogy there somewhere. I don't know. In any event, thank you, my friends. Have a great and a glorious time. Thank you. Thank you for your super chats tonight. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for following Mrs. L. I appreciate that immensely. Please like the video. Hit that little button so you're able to know of new videos and the like. And whatever you do, I always ask, and I mean this with all due respect, please continue to follow us. Accept my thanks for your being here. Can't wait for Friday. And until tomorrow, my friends, remember the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.